I've never had more fun than opening Korean Pokemon packs. I'm Alex and I own a 3-figure Pokemon card business. Credibility check from my bedroom, essentially. These are the Korean stock that we have. We've got the EV Heroes that just came in today behind me. And then we've got the Super Electric Breaker, Shiny Treasures EX, and somewhere in the corner over there by the Team Rocket binder, we have got, Blue Sky Stream. A few of those left. When there is such a low price on the product, in this case, I did a Super Electric Breaker pack opening today, and it was only £23. There are such low stakes for opening it. You know, it was £23, you got 30 packs, less than £1 a pack. If I don't get a lot of hits, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm opening it. I'm not expecting much. My expectations are low. I just want to have a good time. It was a huge financial investment. And because of that, I'm allowed to have a good time. Whereas if you're spending £150 on a English booster box, you have higher expectations. There is something that you want to get out of this in return. You're hardcore in how you're chasing it. You're playing, I don't know, in FIFA, at least, back in the day, you'd say that it was sweaty. You were playing hard, you just wanted to win. You didn't really care about having fun about the other artwork, because what is that to you? You just want the cards, because you spent £150 on this. And so with that, you're purchasing the expectation that you will get a big hit. You will get 4 big hits. Perhaps you'll get the chase card from that. But you aren't. You just aren't getting that. And there's a sense of disappointment then that you get from opening these ETBs, these English products, where you're not getting a hit. You're not getting anything. Compared to I just spent £23 and, you know, I got these 3. Plus 5 other EXs, full art trainer and an A-spec. And I'm pretty happy with that because I didn't expect much and I got more than what I expected. Korean packs over-deliver because the price point is so low, whereas English packs cannot help but under-deliver. Aside from the people who are pulling, you know, the full art terrestrial Pikachus, aside from them, and they're not pulling it consistently, how many booster boxes do people need to open to get that? On average, you're just not getting your money back. And you're not getting your satisfaction back. You're not getting your return on enjoyment. And for me, I think that's a really key thing now. I think buying sealed products, sealed English products to sell, sure. But opening it, it's just not as fun as it perhaps once used to be. It's not as fun as it used to be as a child, where you just be opening packs, and admittedly it's because it was more carefree. There was no financial aspect tied to it. But Korean, plentiful, very cheap to open. You want to just put £23 on a booster box. You have a good time for an hour, open packs with someone, just chill, enjoy the artwork, enjoy the cards, enjoy the surprises of getting pulls. It is great. Obviously, there is a demographic of person who are hardcore. They're going to rip packs and sell things, so count up all their little pennies and how much money they're making, and go and sell that. And that's not how I want to do Pokemon. I'm not interested in it. All of these pulls that we got, let's just have a look at all of them. They are going to be included in orders. Every order from the shop has a card included with it. Some of those are sort of English or Japanese or Korean foils that I've got around. But if I do have, then they will be some of these cards, and they'll be thrown in with an order because it's the excitement of pulling a card like this. I don't care if it's in Korean. You know, for people who are saying, sort of in comments on Instagram or TikTok, that it's in Korean, you're only going to get $6 for one of those cards. I'm not trying to get $6 for it. I'm not trying to get one. I opened packs. I had a great time doing it. I enjoy looking at the artwork. I enjoy looking at the cards, seeing what I was going to get. And I will pass that on. I'll put them in the orders, give them away, and someone else will open them and get the same satisfaction. And I think that is great. I think that is part of what this is all about, the spirit of Pokemon, let's say. I think it's more enjoyable than watching a pack opening where they're just flashing up on screen 20 pence, 60 pence. Look how much money I'm making back from all of these. One, you're not. Because let's face it, all the cards which are under £1, they're not selling for £1. They're not selling for the pence that they are because no one's buying them. So really you're selling in bulk. And to be honest, if I'm buying bulk, my rates are a penny a card. If it's non-holo, probably around 10, 15 pence for a holo card, reverse holo, and then £1 for an ultra rare. So, you know, if that's what you're counting on, trying to get your money back, no one is doing that consistently. It is impossible. I just don't think it's a valid argument to say, oh, but they're cheap. Yeah, the booster boxes are cheap. It's all relative. And fundamentally, it's the same product. You are opening packs. There's an assortment of cards in there. You're looking at them and you have a reaction to that. You have an emotional reaction. Oh, there was nothing in here. Oh, I got something. I'm pretty happy with that. Or, you know, maybe a bit more than oh. So that's what this package is. You're going to open something, you're going to have an emotional reaction to it. Will the emotional reaction that you get from the Surging Sparks be higher if you were buying English and you pull that full art Terrestrial Pikachu that's going for sort of £400 or £500? Yes. 100% yes. But how much higher is it? And what about the rest of the cards? If you pulled the Magneton, how much more fun would you have pulling this from an English pack than you would from a Korean pack? Is that even quantifiable? I don't know. I don't really think so. And at the price point, is it 6 times more fun? I don't know. I don't think that's quantifiable either. But what I do know, what I can tell you, is that I had a great time doing it. I opened 30 packs. I got, I don't know how many pulls it was. It was about 1 every 3 packs. About 10 pulls, I think it was. And I had a great time. I had a really great time. Because every one of those packs was only 80p. And so if I opened a pack and I got 5 cards and there wasn't even a holo in there. Okay. Imagine, you know, you spend £4 on an English booster pack and you get nothing. I've been there. It's not fun. And when we talk about these price points of, you know, you're opening booster boxes, and, you know, it's all this talk about, oh, you're opening booster boxes, you're buying a booster box and there's a guaranteed secret rare in every booster box. Yeah, but it's £150 for a booster box. If I've got a child and they want to open Pokemon packs, you know, they like opening Pokemon packs regularly maybe, I'm not giving them an entire booster box. I'm not giving them £150 to open. That's insane. What are you doing with all those cards? You know, I just don't think it makes sense to do. And then, if you just give them one booster pack and it's just a load of duds and you're spending £4 to do it, then again, it's not so fun. But if I can get a booster box for £23, they can open 30 packs, they can get all of these, they're going to have a great time. If I've got someone who wants to be introduced to Pokemon, like, yeah, sort of I'm interested, I'm not really sure, I don't really have any interest in playing the game, I just know there's sort of a collectability about this, I want to have a look at the artwork, I like the idea of opening packs, am I going to go to them and say, we could spend £150, you get a booster box, you see how that goes, or this is £23, you could open it, it'll give you an hour's enjoyment, you'll spend £23, the same amount of time as an English booster box, and you'll probably have the same amount of fun. Because you're not staking so much capital on it. And I think that's where there's a problem. And I've got nothing against Pokemon investing. To be honest, I don't have any interest in holding sets for the long term. I prefer just to pass sets through. I buy things, I sell things, that's it. I'm not waiting for them to double in price. It's, you know, other people's game, they want to do that, that's fine. But this hardcore development of Pokemon into an asset class is slightly toxic, to be honest. Especially when it comes to you're showing pulls from a pack and people are going, yeah, but how much is that worth? I didn't buy a pack, and you shouldn't buy packs because you're expecting a monetary return upon that. Fundamentally, well, on average, most people aren't selling packs. Most people are not selling the bulk that they get. It's a rare type of person who does that, who opens Pokemon cards. Children certainly aren't doing that. So I think that's just a hypothetical niche case scenario that isn't really applicable to the entirety of people opening packs and the entirety of who Pokemon is marketed to. So you're not going to get a financial return upon it. So it comes back to the point that they are fundamentally the same product. A Pokemon pack is a Pokemon pack, but how much you spend on that Pokemon pack and how much fun you're getting from it. And for me, Korean blows English away. Phenomenal. I am excited for Terrestrial Festival in Korean. I will be stocking that. I will be doing pack opening for that. It'll be great. I'm going to do an EV Heroes pack opening. I pray for the Umbreon. I pray for any Umbreon from EV Heroes, because I actually don't have that many Umbreons, but I love Umbreon. So I will be looking for that. Fingers crossed. Probably only do one though. Might do another Super Electric Break at some point in the future, because I had such a good time. Shiny Treasures EX, I would, but I just don't have that many. Same with Blue Sky Stream, I would. I'm really, so that Dragonite V or that Rayquaza, I would look for them, but I don't have that much stock, and so, yeah, I'll just be keeping that listed. And Blue Sky Stream is pretty difficult to get at the moment, so I think it just makes sense from a business perspective to sell on. Really, from a collecting perspective, as I said, I'm giving away to the pools. I'm mainly interested in filling up that Team Rocket bundle binder. So going through basically all of the Wizards of the Coast, and then doing the Ruby and Sapphire set as well. Those are the ones I'm interested in doing, because those have sort of some nostalgia for me. I like collecting the cards, and that's sort of where my collecting interest lies. And I think it's good to have that distinction between sort of business in terms of modern and then vintage in terms of collectability, for me personally. Although, that's not to say there aren't some desirable cards in modern that I would sort of love to collect. I do plan at some point doing an Umbreon binder. So if I can find a small one, just filling it up with different cards, that is something I would like to do. But at the moment, just vintage for me, for my sort of personal collection. I'll show it at some point, although it's not very impressive. And there's quite a few water damaged. The best ones basically that I made a small card holder out of card, innovative, and filled it with Pokemon cards. I left it in my pocket. That went in the washing machine. Ruined sort of Mewtwo promo, Mew promo, base set Gyarados, base set Machamp, base set Blastoise. Tragic, but it is what it is. What can you do? And I think Fossil, Moltres, and Zapdos as well, although I'm not entirely sure. They're in there somewhere. So basically what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just doing a card a week, and I think that's a good pace. I'm perfectly happy to sort of resist that. It's fine for me. I sort of, put most of my money into just buying product to sell. So if you're interested in supporting that way, then head over to www.thechase.club, the sponsor of today's video, and the sponsor of every video, because that is where the money comes from in terms of this. So I do think that if you are looking, or if you fall into the category, let's put it this way, of you rip packs for fun, you enjoy the artwork, you like to see what you get, you don't really care about resale value, and you're not so, I was going to say snobbish. I don't think snobbish is the right word, that you only touch English product. Because I wouldn't, for example, have that much interest in Indonesian or Thai. I do have interest in Chinese, Korean and Japanese. I don't know if it's because the characters are more similar, and so there's an aesthetic aspect to that in terms of writing. I'm not sure, but I would be more interested in those. It might also be, and I think this is something which ties into the Korean rise, and I think there's going to be more Korean rise, because Korean products is going to get more scarce as sort of Koreans become more interested in Pokemon, which I said, Pokemon Center opening up, it's going to get bigger there. But also the influx of Korean media into the West. So K-pop, Parasite, what's that TV show called? Squid Game, and a few others, sort of Woo Young Woo, some other ones I can't remember off the top of my head. as we get sort of this bleeding of Korean culture into the Western sphere, still niche, fully, there will be more interest in those types of product. There'll be people who are learning Korean who want to buy Korean product. There are people who have watched Parasite, watched Squid Game, who also like Pokemon, who are like, oh, maybe I'll buy some Korean product. I want to become more integrated into sort of Korean culture. And that is a way of doing that. It's a way of seen to be doing that. Same people who are interested in Japanese culture. So they watch anime, they read manga, they buy Pokemon in Japanese because they are Japanophiles, Koreophiles, not entirely sure. Either way, they're interested in those cultures, and so they would buy them. And so there is this more bleed, and I think that's partly why there was some interest in Korean, as well as a sort of financial push away from Japanese and English. But those are just sort of ideas. I have no idea, really. Maybe there is no interest and I've just sort of tricked myself into it because I'm selling Korean product. I'm not sure. But I think there are people who are interested. There is demand for Korean product. Obviously not as much as Japanese or English. It will never be as desirable. That's just a fact of life. It is a niche product. But I will hang my hat on this specific use case. If you open Pokemon packs for fun, your children do, you've got a partner that's someone you want to introduce, I think the best entry-level Pokemon product is Korean booster boxes, or are Korean booster boxes. It's not a single booster box or blister pack from English Pokemon cards. It's not one of those tins, because we're getting 3 packs in there. It's just not enough exposure. You know, you open it, you get 3 dud packs, you're like, well, whatever. What's the hype about that? Or you go, oh, come on, I need to buy some more. I need to get a hit. People are getting hits. So there is that option, of course. But I think the biggest exposure for the cheapest price is Korean. Searching Spark, Super Electric Breaker is a great option for that. Highly recommend it. You can watch on the channel the pack opening of that and the Shiny Treasures EX pack opening as well. Both are great. Really enjoyed that. What else? Not entirely sure. I think I want to make a video about the Palafin because I really think that is a big deal. That card being illustrated by a high-level sort of a goat of manga. I think it's an intersection which is huge. And it will have implications for the Japanese domestic market, but that will bleed over into the others. Into the importation of English product, as they're exclusive there, more interest in Pokemon, as well as just more demand for Japanese product domestically, which drives up the price internationally. The same thing, Pokemon Center opens in Japan. More domestic interest in Korean product, more international or high international price for Korean product. It's just the way that things are going to go. So that is an aspect to that. And just with the rest of it, I think it's part of a wider indication that Pokemon is... I was going to say, Pokemon's here to stay. But we know Pokemon's here to stay. But more than that, Pokemon is going to keep growing. So the people who are investing who are saying, you know, Pokemon's still going to be around in 20, 30 years, I think that's a fair bet. 50, 60 years? Impossible to tell. But 2030, I think Pokemon at the moment have enough staying power to be at least moderately relevant at those times. Will they be the most well-known IP in the world? You never know. Too big to fail is always a fallacy. Anything can happen. But they are a force of nature. They still have growth opportunities, quite obvious growth opportunities. You know, if I said to you, oh, they only built their first Pokemon Center, as in the Pokemon shop run by Pokemon in Korea in 2023, I think that would be quite surprising. You would imagine that it was one there already. It's also increasing in China. These are huge local markets relative to Japan that they can bleed into. They also have sort of an interest in expanding into the Indian market. There was a lot of room for growth. We forget in the West and think that it's sort of a saturated product in our times, that there are only so many people who are interested in it. But we exist in an international landscape. There are many more people who are yet to be interested in Pokemon in terms of domestically. It's up to the company whether they target that in the right way. It ties into everything that they do in terms of the Switch, the Pokemon cards for the mobile games. All of this is connected into the mass appeal of Pokemon. So the Switch 2 will be a big deal for it. Pocket, huge success. Tick, that box has gone well. How will the other expansions go? We'll see. But I am tentatively bullish on Pokemon in 20, 30 years. Will I be holding product? No. It's just an observation. As with the other main observation of today's video, that I have never had as much fun as when I open Korean product. It is great. Low stakes, high return. So satisfied every time I open a Korean booster box. And if you haven't tried it, I would highly recommend it. Head over to www.thechase.club if you're interested in looking for more. If you're interested in just off-the-cuff, long-form Pokemon content, just talking about things, then subscribe. Follow along if you've got any suggestions of things you want to see spoken about, any questions about the business side, about sort of just personal or just Pokemon related, then let me know in the comments down below. DM me on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. All of those links are in the description as well. If you want to support, then yeah, like, subscribe, follow on a social media account, leave a comment, buy product from us if you want. Got all of our boxing videos on the channel as well. Every time I do orders, I try and box it. In the future, I'll probably try and go live and do sort of some Q&A, but I would need to sort of think about how I'm going to set all of that up. So at the moment, that's not really going to be happening, but it is something I have in mind because I think it's more fun to do it in a little bit of an interactive way, and also just general Q&A sessions. But yeah, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.